Do we have the link?
No, yeah, we want to. Oh, gosh. We do want to probably share.
Okay, yeah, we get this. Perfect. Now, where am I going?
I will admit, the Helldivers 2 devs are onto something. Accidentally carpet bombing friends is hilarious.
I have very much heard that it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if I had an active group to play with a lot, I would.
Oh, same.
I do have a group that I played some multiplayer games with. The problem is just lately, every single time they want to play, I'm in the middle of work. Because just when the hours line up, they're like it's like 1 p.m. or like 2 p.m.
Yeah,
Most of them are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But in the summer before I started a job, you know, I would pop in and play like, you know, Deep Rock Galactic with them every chance I got, you know.
Sure.
But just time just didn't work out. I'm like, if that's gonna keep happening, I don't know if I'm gonna buy Helldivers right now.
Okay. I will send it out to my peoples.
Because I don't wanna join with randos. At least I don't think it'd be as fun that way, you know. And then I don't have to get into it with.
It's fair.
Alright, I'm gonna send it.
Admittedly, playing with randos is a good way to actually, you know, get a group.
Oh yeah, it is. But like, yeah,
I am terrible at becoming friends after playing in a game together with somebody.
and
That's not really how I operate.
and
Fair enough.
This is why MMO guilds have never worked for me.
and also it's just it you have to weed out a lot.
You do.
Okay. And I'll have to do that part another time. Okay, well, Stu, since you are on the left, we're giving you the do the checking stuff.
We trust you with fast.
Fine. If that's gonna be how we're doing it, though, I'm never sitting on the left again.
At the very least, just make sure just at the very least make check on updates and whatnot.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out and see if anything starts and try and see if I notice
Like-
anything pop up in the little
Yeah.
side window there.
And I'll try to keep an eye out, and same with you,
Yep.
Taylor. But
Other than that, we will just
let's just
we'll just
okay.
talk,
Into the Animus.
chat, play games. Generally,
Those
just be
vigilantes you have freed
a
to
wacky
block
gang.
your pursuers and break their
And,
line of sight.
Just
or
just
you
a little freak.
try and project just a little more when you talk, I guess, compared to last week. Because remember, you said you were kind of quiet. In the
Yeah,
last one,
I
so.
was. There you go.
Oh man, sounds. It's like a whole new game already.
That will cost you your life.
This place. I'm having flashbacks.
Right.
This is our one and only home base for most of the game.
Yeah.
Altair. Just
Altair.
good to see you. And in one piece.
So
You
again,
as
the
well, friend.
circumstances are.
I'm sorry for your
Stuart,
troubles.
you've played through
Think
the
nothing of it.
entire game
A few
before.
of your brothers
Yes.
were
a
here
while,
earlier,
a long
in
time
fact.
ago.
Yes,
Oof,
it's
if you'd
been
heard
many
the
moons,
things
but
they
I have
said,
played a full
I'm certain
game.
you'd have slain
I
them
played
instead.
through about half the
It's
game
quite all
prior,
right. Yes.
and
you've never
watched
been
the
one for
playthrough of the
greed,
rest of
have
it.
you? Is
And
that
I've
all?
watched. And
I'm
I've only
sorry.
watched the
Sometimes I
playthrough.
forget myself.
Okay.
What business?
And all of these were years back.
A man named Tamir.
Yes.
Al Mualim
But
takes
with our
issue with the work
powers
he
combined,
does. I meant to end it. Now
we're
tell me where to
almost
find
like
him.
one whole
Surely
recent
you
playthrough.
remember how to track an enemy.
So what?
Of
We're
course.
Hassan of the Six Hands.
Learn where he will be and when.
I mean, hey,
That's
there
sort
is
of
a
where
new
the best
Hassan.
left for.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Hassan,
what?
like
I
the,
understand.
Yeah.
I literally posted
Cool,
about
let's
this
search
like
Yeah,
yesterday.
Determine
yeah,
what
in
he's
the
planning
our
and
little
where he
You
lurks.
expect me to know stuff just because I've
Preparation
read
makes
it
the victor.
before?
What can
But
you
yes,
tell me?
in
then?
addition to
Tamir makes
so
his living
it's
as a
6
black
5-star
market
Avenger
merchant,
Marie
so
and
the
a new
soup
4-star
district should be
Hassan.
your destination.
A dude this time
I
too,
suggest
even.
you seek out the following places.
Hassan of like the Radiant
Small
Star or something. He like turns into a
The
light beam.
madrasa to our east,
That's
and in
great.
the
At least that's what
gardens
his
north
end.
of
I don't know any of his other
Focus on
animations
these
or lore. I
places
think I just
should
watched like the
become well
10-second
known.
NP clip.
I
That's
assume
a
you
pretty
want me
fast
to return to you
assassination
when this
technique,
is
I'll give him
done.
that.
Yes, come back to me. I'll give you Al Mualim's marker, and you'll give
It's,
us Tamir's life.
I
As
feel
you
like it's been
wish.
a very long
Remember,
time.
Altair,
Wait,
if you
since
find
an
yourself
actual
in
Hassan.
trouble and the city turned against you,
It has been.
return to the
Actually, we
bureau.
literally
I
haven't
can
gotten
shelter
one
you
since
from
King
the
Hassan,
storm.
have we?
Be
All
warned,
of the other ones were
if
before
your
that.
enemies are too
Think
close,
so.
my
We might have gotten
door
a
will be
summer,
closed
but-
until you've lost them. Do you
I
understand?
actually
Yes.
don't-
To bring the enemy inside would
none
compromise the
occurred to me.
Brotherhood. Very well.
We may have
Off you
never
go.
gotten a variant of like we got some costumes. I don't think we ever actually got servant variants of the existing Hassans even. It's just Cursed Arm,
My presence
Serenity,
cost you your life.
100 Faces, and King Hassan,
Which
right?
one's Buff Lady? Is that 100 faces?
Yeah, that's 100 faces.
Yeah.
You dare steal in my presence? That will cost you your life.
Why are you doing this to me?
Oh no, not your life.
Dirty
That
thief,
will cost
I'll
you
have
your
head for
life.
that.
Nothing but your life. Alright. So, map.
You dare steal
Okay.
in my presence?
You're the map.
Your life.
Yeah, the
the
closest
map.
we've come was 3 non-generic enemies. Guzul the Strong, Makul the Quick.
Oh yeah.
Those are 3 of
Yeah, that's
100
it.
Face Hassans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the closest we've gotten it to.
So yeah,
Variant.
I guess that means this is the first new Hassan
Hi, don't mind me.
since
Don't mind me.
first new Hassan since Babylonia.
Tamir drove his caravan north. He came across the Saracen
And
leader
now we
and his
finally have a
starving
4-star
men.
Hassan. All that's
Most
left is a
fortunate
1-star.
for them
Yeah, that's
both,
true.
Each having something the other wanted.
True. Technically true.
We've gotten 2 3-stars, a
And
2-star, a
so
4-star, and a
Tamir left.
5-star.
Riding north and wondering what would become of his
I
supplies.
guess that means I'll have to get that guy in 2 years. I want to own every Hassan. Still.
Spoiled.
Which right now I technically do.
Compared to some of your achievements in that game, that feels like a low bar.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm gonna say I'm happy with every single non-limited berserker.
You?
Tamir drove a caravan in those days.
I'm trying to think of what berserkers I actually use.
But recent
I really I think it's really interesting having this one.
there were
The
none in Jerusalem who
a lot of the other ones either
This
you
was a great idea.
a lot of other ones you snap to position facing forward, but this one it doesn't. You can literally be facing back at the tower when you synchronize, and it'll
Okay.
just show that in the
So
whole.
guys, are we going to have last time?
I don't think we should take a leap of faith.
I took a leap of faith.
Drove his caravan north. He
And your
came
leap of
across
faith
the
paid off.
Saracen leader
I love
and
how he
his starving
not very subtly adjusts into it so he doesn't bash his head on the outside.
Yeah. There's there's an interrogator. I should probably take care of
most
this
fortunate for them
interrogation.
both, each having something the other wanted.
No reason to stand
That's
here.
what
Leave.
it is.
As Tamir drove his caravan north, he came across the Saracen leader and his starving men. Most fortunate for them both, each having something the other wanted.
Do we though?
Some say, were
Yeah,
it not
we
for
have-
Tamir, Salah ad-Din's men would have
Plot armor?
surely turned on him.
I mean, that's
We also
fair.
have actual
We
armor
won
under
the
a robe.
battle
I'm pretty sure.
because
We
of
did.
that
There,
man.
I remember one of the upgrade systems back in 2 and Brotherhood. You actually like get armor.
Go
You
away.
did, yeah. But in those games, getting hit didn't represent the fact that you were acting less like Altair in the moment.
It's fair.
So I highly doubt he actually wears armor.
I think Altair probably wears like a little bit of armor, but like that's about it. All right, bud, I'm right behind you. Okay,
How
now.
about you turn around and go?
How dare you?
Kick his ass. Kick him in the teeth.
Timed out
You're a
poorly.
failure as an assassin.
Yeah.
You never should have gotten hit.
Yeah, but I timed out poorly. Oh, I timed it poorly again. There you go.
You seem to know quite a bit about Tamir. Tell me what he's planning.
I know
Enemies'
only the
plans.
stories I tell, nothing more.
A pity. There's no reason to let you live if you've nothing to offer in return.
Wait, wait! There is one thing.
Continue.
He he is preoccupied as of late. He oversees the production of many, many weapons.
What of it? They're meant for Salah ad-Din. This does not help me, which means it does not help you.
No, stop, listen! Not Salah ad-Din. They're for someone else. The crests these arms bear, they are different, unfamiliar. It seems Tamir supports another, but I know not who.
This is the first
that
time
all?
I've ever realized Altair is literally just Batman with the serial numbers
Everything I
filed off.
know.
I mean, yeah.
Then it's time
Which
for you to
makes
rest.
the entire family protagonists.
Rip.
Okay, very, very rubbed off those serial numbers.
Just gentle push the body away.
Gentle push.
Gentle push.
It does make the entire family of assassins, from Altair all the way down to Desmond, a Bat family.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Okay, I have a few little saves. Might as well go and take care of some of these few save saves and stuff that are just kind of chilling.
So who's the worst Robin
You are
in Altair's Descendants?
Hey, losers!
Somebody help me!
Oh wait, no, sorry. I need to do this.
What do you want?
Help me! I've done nothing wrong!
Another
Oghra Ben Wazir.
Moida.
Alright, it's
Wow,
dead.
you're an a good assassin. You had to kill 2 of them for the third one to notice.
Come on,
Someone
game.
should do that.
Game.
Heretic.
Oh, that was the reason why, because I didn't have my sword out. Oh, man. I don't know why it was not targeting.
The infidel! You're a dead way.
That was weird.
I will tell you, I have absolutely had to do this a number of times.
Oh, I've done it before in some of the other ones.
You'll never get away. How could we have lost him?
But it's like, maybe I...
Here! Stay over here!
Oh, go. Hi! Ow.
This is exactly what I meant
Yeah.
the last time.
Alright,
How out of character.
pay for your
Okay, well, let's get back and,
over here!
You shouldn't be running.
Why are you in such a hurry? You can't escape!
It's true, being correct is very out of character for me.
Defense of our great civilization! After him!
Ooh, Saltburn, those are rare.
Here!
I need...
In our very existence, we are
It's
fighting
actually all part of my my elite build here. I inflict numerous debuffs on myself to amplify my DPS output, while also mitigating the actual downsides of those debuffs.
I'm definitely pressing the wrong button, but I... Like,
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to lock on. It won't let me lock on.
Huh.
I'm definitely probably pressing the wrong button then. Or something's going on.
We could double check the controls if we have to.
Yep, yeah, I know I could have just gone to a hay bale, but it's fine.
You are the king and his army of infidels!
You need to get your 8,000 steps
Go
in.
against the will of God and must be
I
made to
don't
pay!
know why I was...
Oh yeah, that monk, that one monk with the bandolier and the sword.
Okay, well, I am
That's
actually...
not a sword. That's my monkly walking stick. They all look like that.
Okay, so...
Can you
Take
not
this
recognize a amount of
time.
cloth?
Target lock button 4.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
Reassign it?
What button do you think what button do you think it was?
I thought it was, Y. Not Y, the left bumper, but I guess not.
Is it R3?
It's the left bumper.
Okay.
It's a weird control scheme.
No, I definitely just forgot what the button was.
They do kind of streamline the control scheme around it.
Well, and it doesn't help when they literally name it just button 4, button 5. I know the reason why they do it, but it's still just kind of like, yeah.
Yeah. It's not ideal.
Okay, well now that fiasco is over, I'm just gonna walk over here. I'm just gonna walk over here and... Oh, no, yeah,
Walk over here and gentle push.
oh, I accidentally pressed L3.
I think you are the one who's been gentle pushed now.
Hi.
Look at her gently pushing you out of life.
Out there, no good, very bad day.
Hold on, quit hitting me. I gotta look at my map real quick.
Okay.
Waste of my time.
I did not hold. But I
Maybe you haven't
got in the midst of battle.
That one's at least believable as behavior. Finally, the lemmings are properly coded in.
This is why I don't engage in combat in Assassin's Creed games when I don't have to.
Hey,
Like, you can kill every single enemy. Nobody can notice if there's nobody to notice, and so forth.
Kindness, I swear it.
But it takes so much time sometimes.
well, it
You have
does.
to, I think early on you unlock like a hidden blade parry or something that's absurdly good once you
Yeah.
figure it out. Which can literally carry you
Yeah,
through
it's
the
like
rest
a
of the
parry
game.
counterattack thing.
Yeah, it's an instant kill, if I remember correctly.
That would make sense.
Yeah, it can just carry you for the rest of the game once you have it.
Oh, that is true. That sounds like something that happens.
Stand in defense of our great
And
civilization.
in fact, sounds like several some things that might happen.
It is our very existence we are fighting for.
No bot messages today, it looks like.
Yep, not yet.
I'm feeling so unloved by all of these robots.
You
Well,
dare
one
steal my
robot.
presents? That will cost you your life.
Let go of me. I've done nothing
We did
wrong.
openly mock the robot on stream.
Yes, but I don't have that much faith in the
You're a dead
level
man.
of
Get away from me.
self-awareness of current computing technology.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like you know, if we had like a real genuine AI, I would totally be willing to be friends with it or something. But like, I'm not concerned with doing with spam bots.
Well, it's not very polite.
It's not very polite of them to be doing the spamming. So fair is fair.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Actually, exceedingly fair.
Good job along
Reinitializing.
Another minute and they would have made
What
off with
happened
me.
here?
What happened
Oh,
here?
hi. How's it going, bud? Don't mind me.
Yeah, this is definitely what I remember a lot about it. It's you just get detected easily and have a hard time escaping detection sometimes. It's not like a nightmare. It just adds a lot of extra time
That's
to a lot of
Happened
tasks.
any way I could.
Sorry.
You should be.
Yeah, I've got clear memories of 2 and Brotherhood, but
Yeah.
I do remember that problem in this one.
I gotta say, I do really love, you know, the nice conciseness of this map. The poor district, the rich district, and the medium district. Very nice of them to clearly delineate the city like that.
I
Very
mean,
self-aware.
why not?
Comes the English king and his infidel army. They leave horrors in their wake.
Water's the reason not to separate the districts that way.
I guess.
Sure, if you wanna pretend like that.
Pray that God, glorious and exalted is he.
So what are we supposed to be doing right now?
Oh, we were supposed to get information about Tamiel.
Yeah, that interrogation, that was an objective.
Yeah. I've just been focusing on doing other
He's,
things.
he's some kind of temporal line merchant or something.
Yeah.
So you're playing a version of Altair that has ADHD.
I mean, that's a lot of open world games.
Yeah, it's true. All right.
Honestly-
I've got to rush back and save my best friend from being burned alive by the Templars. Okay, hold up though. I have to go take out this I have to go take out this mercenary checkpoint and collect a few eagle feathers.
In all honesty, though,
That makes sense.
I could totally see Altair being ADHD.
Honestly, some form of neurodivergency would explain a lot of his personality.
Yeah. I could do an informal. This is another objective: informal rooftop race. Woo!
Strange, I've never seen someone do that before.
Even in ancient Jerusalem, Ubisoft games have street races, I guess.
Okay. Hi there. I did up, but nope.
I mean, you didn't desync, so that's apparently in character form.
Someone should stop him before he hurts himself.
Altair's a
Safety
weird
and
guy.
peace, Altair. I trust you are looking for information to aid you in your strike against Tamir. I fear I've nothing to offer. But Bahir might. He shouldn't be too far from here.
I love how they give us a time limit to get to this person's place.
Altair's Eagle Vision involves a perfect internal clock.
I can believe it.
Yeah, no, that explains a lot.
I can fully believe that.
Honestly, a lot of weird timiness. It makes a lot of sense with his being connected to his Eagle Vision. Like how he's able to have entire conversations with people who are bleeding out in seconds.
Come see what I have to offer.
Reason for him to do that?
After all, Eagle Vision is kind of a form of
Strange, I've never seen someone do that before.
What is that?
it's kind of a form of divination sight
You, eh?
that
An
persists
interesting
beyond the
choice.
physical.
Though not my place to judge.
Because, like, in lore,
Rafik has asked me to observe
and
the
in
soup
stuff that we
that
see, like,
Tamir
not
brings
only does it
home.
allow them to look
Here's
at a
what
guy
I have
and
learned.
identify
There's a group of troublemakers
this
who gather
random
around
person in a crowd is
southeastern
the one who
exit.
has the information
They
I
and the
need.
guards
This is the
do
guy I
not
need to
get
talk
along.
to.
Find a
with-
way to earn their friendship.
No way for them to know that.
And they'll surely
But it
be of
allows them to
service
see
you.
things with resonance. You know, you can potentially view parts of the past with Eagle Vision. I think we've seen before, and I think it's kind of implicit that like Eagle Vision is like related to how the like ancients like leave messages to the future.
Yeah, I believe that was
I believe
part of
that's
it.
implicit, yeah.
Yeah. So like Eagle Vision is like, depending on how you wanted to interpret it, what I would call it is Eagle Vision is a form of narrative awareness.
To be fair, to make the counter-argument, at least some of the counter-argument, a lot of stuff that can be that's handled by Eagle Vision is sort of a hand-wavy way of, can be explained as a hand wave of various, even realistic in the modern day, hunting and tracking techniques that you'll see used, especially by a lot of tribes that never really embrace the advancement of technology.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that it's at least,
Or hand
as
waving.
far
is
as
just
I've
good
looked at
lighting
it, it is strongly implied, like, the Eagle Vision is a thing that is explicitly exists in universe. The exact version of it we see could obviously be kind of an interpretation based on the Animus or whatever. So, oh, no, we're dead. We did.
That was apparently out of character for Altair.
But-
Not anything else you did.
I guess the real question is a part that I don't remember very clearly. But in Assassin's Creed 3, I think you use the Eagle Vision in one of the sections
okay,
where you
well,
play
they
as
let me keep it.
present day Desmond. You know, to
Yeah.
hunt down like another assassin.
Oh yeah, yep. I remember there being
And
part of that.
since I
Desmond
think,
explicitly has Eagle Vision.
yeah, I think since it works pretty much the exact same way there, that implies that it is not just an abstraction of the Animus, but that is literally just how it works.
Not necessarily, actually.
Or at the very least, the experience of using Eagle Vision to the person using it is the same in real life as how it feels in the Animus. Just the representation to us as the player might be different.
It could also be an altered form of Eagle Vision due to developing it from the Animus, because Desmond couldn't do it beforehand. He hadn't figured out how to activate it prior to entering the Animus in the first game. So it's entirely his ability to use it is informed by his experience in the Animus as a form of synesthesia.
I'm telling
I guess that's
you,
possible.
it's rats.
But
No, it's children. I hear them laughing.
Rats or children. Either way, it's bad for business. All that noise!
Someone needs to get up on those beams and clear them out.
I wonder how they're getting up there.
Must be through the central courtyard.
Then we should ask the guard to have a look.
The classic.
They're all much too busy polishing the backside of their master.
But yes, either way, at least I personally kind of subscribe to the idea of it being a sort of atemporal,
Something.
a sort of atemporal vision that is kind of a. The human mind cannot consciously process it, but the like abilities from the ancients or whatever allows them to kind of process a sort of mixed post-cognition and precognition into a form of overlaid Eagle Vision.
That's fair.
That allows them to perceive. So essentially, they might perceive fragments of past and future and not unconsciously, and apply that to consciously knowing this guy is important. This is my objective. Even if technically they are gaining that information from
Their own future self. or
their
past.
future self or past self or some other form of meta awareness that their mind doesn't consciously process.
Okay, who's being attacked right now?
That will cost you your life.
That
You
could
are
go through your life.
Yeah, my interpretation of Eagle Vision in part been that, because I do think there is some form of pre and post cognition going
Are you
on.
doing this?
I agree.
Hey. Just let it be.
Probably also
Let
some
it
mild
be.
paracognition,
Let
but I also
Let it be.
interpret it as more Sherlock Holmesy as well. It's consciously allowing your unconscious mind to sort through everything it knows and applies all of that as well as possible to current situation. So a lot of what Eagle Vision does is probably pretty standard assassin training mixed with a hint of supernatural rather than directly entirely based on a supernatural
I do
principle.
absolutely think that it is built on the fundamental skills, and that it's just kind of enhanced by that, which I think is why Desmond couldn't do it at first, because he didn't have the training, the ability to really contextualize it. But I think that bloodline of the Eagle Vision definitely kind of brings it up a step for them beyond what others can do.
To be fair, he did have a significant portion of the basic assassin's training.
Yeah.
He did grow up on.
He had
an
also kind of
assassin's
gotten
camp.
worse at it since he hadn't done it.
Yeah, he'd retired for a few years.
And we die. Okay, I guess we survived.
There might be something to the
It's
leap of
literally,
faith
it's
thing.
literally just a coin flip. But yeah. So anyway, I have definitely seen some people theorize about it with regards to other things. One that an interpretation I really liked. I don't remember the details, but I saw somebody hypothesizing that theoretically
Altair,
Commander
I need your
Shepard,
help. I took something
could
from one of
be
Tamir's men, and now they're after me.
a descendant,
Please,
Oh yeah.
see me to safety,
and that
I'll share
Commander
it with you.
Shepard's ability to, gameplay wise, pick people out of crowds perfectly and perfectly identify who to talk to for important information and stuff like this. Along with there are some other things obviously that were supporting information to this, of which I don't remember most.
It's actually really fair. I can totally see it.
Because it's one of those things where it's okay, considering the fact that this is mostly based in real quote unquote history, a sci-fi series that ostensibly is purely forward from a current day version of Earth is kind of explicitly compatible with the Assassin's Creed framework.
I'll have your
True, you would just they're even more compatible if there was some sort of
Whoa, calm down.
In that
Calm
instance,
down.
in that instance, there's already heavy use of precursor technology and near magical, genetic traits. So there were some arguments that it was just extensively compatible with having a sort of, modified DNA from progenitors that was kind of similar but different to biotics as the thing that coalesces in the Eagle Vision, that bloodline, and Shepard was unknowingly using that to identify, their, important people to their story and, things like that. I'm okay, that's actually a very plausible theory, especially if you consider that good old Mr. Elusive Man is such a Templar.
Tim is a bit
holy
of a Templar,
shit.
yeah.
So,
You're safe now.
anyway.
I will say, I
can
do
manage on my
appreciate
own
in this game the
Take this.
Templars are a little
Hopefully it will aid you in
less
your mission.
explicitly
Seems to be an
evil
invitation
than they
of sorts.
become in later games.
It really depends. Because I know some you still get some Templars that are still more calm.
More lawful than evil.
Yeah, but you definitely see a lot more in this game.
To be fair, this,
This predates the
I guess I actually don't know in relation to the broader Assassin's Creed lore, but my understanding is this, the reason they are the Templars, of course, is this is the founding of the Order as we know it.
It is, yeah.
So this is before they became basically they're a secret group, but they're not really a cult
Yes.
yet here. So
This is when they realize that you can tamper with free will. This is the game.
Yeah, they see the opportunity and start building a cult to take advantage of.
Yeah, and that's part of why I appreciate the fact that they're not as evil in this one. They are just people working together who have shared interests for a lot of the game.
I honestly do not actually know how the enemy of the assassins is the Templars thing relates to the games that are ostensibly earlier in time compared to this.
It's probably not necessarily Templars, but it's people.
Oh
who
yeah, I
become
just
the
don't know
Templars.
enough about the story to know how it's related yet, right?
Yeah.
If I looked at because this is what's the actual time frame
It's
for this game?
1500s, I believe.
Yeah, this is 12 to 1400, somewhere in that range. I forget what
Yeah, so if we look at Odyssey, Right. Odyssey is much earlier in time, I believe.
Yeah, Odyssey would be
Because
close to the actual Odyssey
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
terms of
'cause
the timeline.
I think it's still set like at least minimum like 100 years after that theoretically is. I know because one of the only parts of the game I actually did play through is that Odysseus is explicitly referenced, and you live off of very near the
Don't mind me.
island of Ithaca. You go to the ruined remains of Odysseus' home on Ithaca in like the early game.
Okay, so it's
So it's like
probably
explicitly long enough for this place to have
would
fallen
that be
into ruin and
2000
rumor.
BC-ish?
Roughly, I believe.
It's either two
point
or
is-
four, but I don't remember which.
As far as I am vaguely aware, because my timeline knowledge is sparse, obviously. But nice, another successful jump. But yeah, the explicit timeline, at least, Odyssey is one of the earliest ones.
Yeah.
to be sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know enough about the Indies there. Like they've got their own stuff. I think there's some kind of secret cult, but like I didn't play far enough to know, and I don't know how it relates. Is this an unrelated group? Are these precursors to what would become the Templars later? Are
Yeah,
they just
if-
like a
I believe
series of separate
memories
cults that
serve-
all kind of are folded into the Templars in the future?
Memory serves
I don't know.
correctly, and I could be misremembering here, but the all of the Templar adjacent groups all happen because of precursor influence. So they're all unified by being influenced by the precursors, same way the assassins are, with Eagle Vision and everything. But
That's why I remember.
they aren't.
Well,
Anyone prior to the Templars was never united into the Templars later on,
Yeah.
because the Templars were one of the founding members. In this one, is the entire reason they became a greater order than just
I guess that makes
another cult.
Master, why did you do it?
From that point on,
I guess it
you
is-
had the two competing groups, so they didn't
Yeah.
need to keep creating new orders.
I guess
Yeah.
it could very well be that in the future, however, that the remaining traces of other antagonistic cult organizations from before are folded into the later Templars.
That's pretty likely. Yeah.
The Templar
pretty
Order
likely.
like absorbs all these other like weird little antagonistic cults. If
Even
that's the case,
even if those cults died off, though, they'll absorb whatever knowledge and stuff they had because they had
Yeah.
very similar goals.
yeah. So I guess this is something we'll be able to find out more about in the future, probably.
Let's find out if I'm right.
Something
Because
needs to be
like,
done.
I'd
It's only a matter
say
of time before someone else discovers
honestly,
it.
is there a
Tell him then.
Not
it's in his
Odyssey,
best
Origins
interest to keep the
is
soup
the
secure.
first one of like
He
those
won't
ones that
meet
goes
with
into
me.
Egypt,
Too
which I think
busy
is
with this new
from
deal
a
of his.
similar
And the
time
guards?
period to
Tried
Odyssey.
already. They won't
Yeah.
lift a finger unless
Or at least
the
they are
order comes
both
from him.
comparatively much further
What
back
will you
than
do?
the rest of the
I'll
main
go
line
to
series
Abu
we've seen.
Nukut.
Yeah, I think
Merchant King.
Origins is
He won't
supposed to
see
be
you.
set fairly
He doesn't
or
have to.
during the
I've
ancient
written him a
Egyptian
letter that
era, not
explains
the
the problem.
later
He can
Egyptian
read it.
That's
Empire.
about
Decide for
all I
himself.
really know about Origins.
Yeah, I know it exists in part as a reference to that one statue with the assassin whose hidden blade was a snake in, what was that, 2?
Yeah.
And I think that was like the oldest assassin, or supposed to be.
But yes, my understanding though is that
I was trying to pickpocket the guy.
actually, you know
from the
what?
front.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That's why it's called Origins, isn't it?
Yep.
Because it's where the assassins
Yeah.
start. Yeah, that scans. I should have thought about that.
Yeah, Origin starts the assassins. Odyssey. Odyssey basically creates the situation with the assassins that leads to Altair existing in the first place.
Now,
Altair
how dare you?
refound the order. Ezio refounds the order again, but better.
You're gonna have a lot of trouble climbing.
Yeah, I remember that, but I was just hoping. That was really it.
Oh, and Desmond presses a button.
But yeah,
I think that's all of the iconic assassins in the entire order.
Oh, don't forget about Connor.
Oh, right, and then Connor
Did stuff.
does something.
as we Connor is a man. That's his job in terms of the meta narrative.
Well, let's see the letter, so.
But yeah, so as we get to presumably Origins and also later Odyssey,
It's way too effective.
we will hopefully find out a little bit more about how the various different
Oh,
cults and secret
Danielle.
organizations link together in the future.
It's gonna be wild. We're gonna need a cork board.
Oh my god. Yeah, we're gonna absolutely need a conspiracy board, or we could go on YouTube and find someone else's conspiracy board and print it out and pretend that it's
And I
ours.
have to go through all the dialogue.
Thus leading us down a 2-year rabbit hole where we make large amounts of money and are then chased
no,
off
never
the
mind.
internet after being exposed by H Bomber Guy.
Come see what I have to offer.
I don't think I want a 2-hour video taking me down, let alone however long that one was.
Yeah.
Neither do
okay.
I.
Which means we'll need a corkboard.
I do seriously respect though the level to which this
Oh,
is instantly
Joke
become a thing. Like
Not
the
that
moment
weird
anybody
guy,
even
we're
talks
not.
about plagiarizing, it's immediately just, oh man.
H Bomber Guy is a social construct.
Yeah, so it's just like, oh, okay, I don't want to, it's like, oh, I'm not gonna, the moment somebody's like even like just watching someone else's video, it's just okay, no, don't come after me, Mr. H Bomber Guy. It's a whole thing in and of itself, which is very, very wacky. I appreciate the meta level of it.
Yeah, it's pretty entertaining stuff.
All right.
Probably a good reason not to go down that route, so probably effective too.
Yeah. It's the H Bomber Guy is plagiarism Batman. Literally, though. His mere existence dissuades.
Face the tower. Aww.
His mere existence helps dissuade people from doing it, knowing that he could come after them like an avenging angel.
You better lose synchronization for looking out into the city with that.
Nah.
Well, who knows? We might get to retry it if you die from the leap of faith. Okay. So have we even died to? We only died to that like once, right?
Yeah, not.
have we even done
not,
it at all today?
Not today. So I think it's because of all the freezing stuff.
Yeah. It must have been like a synchronization error. So now that we have solved the freezing problem, we have also solved the leap of faith death on falling problem.
But it was funny.
And we're no longer going to bounce off the top of a hay bale like it's a rock.
It was pretty hilarious.
It was so funny. Hi guys, don't mind me.
Yeah, nothing is funnier than a good bug sometimes.
That's why I play Elder Scrolls games. At least the old ones.
Yeah.
Show you everything I have.
Something I was playing the other day though when I it was this. Not the part because I wasn't thinking of the part where we died on fall. I was thinking of the part where the camera spun off as our corpse went like flying up into the sky. That's what I was thinking of. I was like, oh, the other day I was at something where like I died and like the corpse wigged out. That was also this game, and it was also very funny.
Like wigging out the same way like in Skyrim if you get hit by a giant.
Yeah, pretty much. I was also thinking about that a little bit. It's a classic.
Yep. Oh my gosh, Skyrim's 13 years old.
Oh man, I remember when that was coming out. I remember there's this one guy that I knew, and he brought his laptop to school, and he was playing Skyrim as a bunch of people were watching them. And this was during like lunch.
Crazy.
Well, I've seen much better versions of the brought my gaming thing to X Place. I much prefer playing Melty Blood in a bathroom sink at an airport.
Fair.
I've never done that, but I respect the hustle of Melty Blood players everywhere.
Indeed.
Yeah. On a more relevant one, I remember when I was at some point when I was doing I was doing like a
There we go.
classic. What do your eagle eyes see, Altair?
Nothing.
They see jack shit. But anyway, oh, we've done all viewpoints.
Yep, that was
In
the
the
whole
port
idea.
district.
Okay, so now we should go to the bureau.
Yeah,
But yes,
we've
when I
seen
was
all
at,
we
like,
needed
a,
to see about the poor people.
Some sort of like engineering class that I was
Pretty much.
taking. I don't remember the details.
See,
But-
you get it.
Because of like the travel time involved and the fact it was like a late night class and not like during regular hours. Lots of people would get there and show up early and just like wait for the professor to get there. One guy brought his Switch every time and we got there earlier, so people would just be sitting there on the floor in the hallway outside of the classroom playing Mario Kart
I mean,
together
That
on his,
sounds
on
like
his
college.
Switch.
That's
And that
fair.
was peak bringing your games to class. Right there. Just, oh yeah, I brought my Switch. Let's
they're
all
gonna
play.
kill me, aren't they? Yep, they did.
Well, at least you didn't get killed by a leap of faith.
I know,
Remember,
right?
Altair never
Use
dies.
counterattacks when faced with
Or
most
swims. Or gets hit. What else is out of character for Altair to do?
I'll just do the
Getting caught.
True.
He fucked up the one time in the prologue, and he has been fine ever since.
I mean, pretty much.
Yeah, I think he gets caught 2 more times over the course of his career. In the later games.
And it never become. And it's not nearly as big as what happened at the beginning, at the prologue.
Yeah. I mean, one time he gets caught by his future lover, I think.
Yeah. I remember that being a thing.
And I think he gets caught when he's in... No, that might be Ezio.
Won't anyone help
I
me?
think he gets caught as an old man
Help me, please.
doing something at the Assassin's original capital.
I think you're thinking of Ezio for both of those, actually. I don't know if we ever meet Altair's love interest.
No, we do.
I believe we did.
I don't remember it in the slightest.
Like I said, he had 2 games. Yeah, it's this redhead girl?
Yeah. I think we even see her in one of the mainline games, but I don't think we see her as Altair.
Yeah, she shows up a few times over the series. Because she's one of the major characters of this era.
Where is the... Someone touch your head!
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Wow.
Now, ready your weapons.
Come on, why do you keep saving so many citizens? Just get back to killing people. I say as if saving citizens does not also involve killing people. Quite a lot of people, actually. Sometimes.
This is the one part of parkour games I don't like.
Ah, so you're an assassin. Well, I'm quite the expert at killing people myself.
Oh, you can do it. You can do it, Altair.
I have
Just
my
gentle
doubt.
push. Gentle push your way down into the bureau. Also, why do they call it a bureau?
Altair,
Did they even have that word at this point in time?
I've done what you asked. Now give me the mark.
That's a good question.
First
Let's
things
find
first.
out.
Tell me what you know.
Tamir rules over the Souk El Salah. He makes his fortune selling arms and armor and is supported by many in this endeavor. Blacksmiths, traders, financiers. He's the largest death dealer in the land.
Assassin's Creed going after
And
the
have you
weapon
devised
merchants.
a way to rid us of this
Dawn
blight?
of the series.
A meeting is being arranged at Souk El Salah to discuss an important sale.
Looks
they say it's
like
the largest
Bureau
deal Tamir has ever
entered the
made.
English
He'll
lexicon
be
at least
distracted
in
with his work.
1700s at
That's
the
when I'll
earliest.
strike.
Your plan seems solid
1690s
enough.
for writing
I give
desk
you
type
leave to
Bureau.
go.
But that's only the English lexicon. We don't actually... Well, what
Let
language would they be
Al-Mu'allim's will
speaking?
be done.
There's like...
This
rest here
would
until
be
you're ready.
either Arabic or Hebrew.
Yeah, okay. Let's see if those languages have something.
Fast forwarding memory.
There's only 1, or 2, or 3 ways to find out.
Ah, that was
Some
good
of those
nap.
ways are going to be difficult, such as it may be possible, but it might be impractical within the breadth of our streaming abilities to go back in time and find out if they had knew the word bureau at this point in time.
We can certainly
Damascus.
try, but we probably shouldn't make that a promise.
Yeah.
I guess possible, but unlikely.
Okay, so I forgot to let you guys know, but I'm actually taking a trip over in that area, so I'll head over to Damascus and see.
We will respect your
See you
dedication
in,
to the cause.
800 years ago?
Yep. I mean, all I need to do is just go to where modern day Damascus is, right? I don't, right?
Hours later.
I actually don't remember if Damascus is still technically a city, or if it...
Just a little money, I beg of you.
I know it's a region. I'm not sure if there is a standing city there.
You mean
mystery for another
the capital of Syria, Damascus?
Sick and dying. Could you spare
But
me
obviously,
a coin?
It's called that, but is it actually in the same
No, You
place?
don't understand. I have nothing.
No idea.
Please, can't you
I might be
spare
thinking of a
something?
different city, but I feel like there's at least one where like the original was destroyed and they built a new one somewhere else with the same name.
New York?
Region.
Please,
It's called New York, not just York again.
just a few coins,
I believe.
please.
I believe it. I want to say it was one of the cities in this game.
Yeah, I could be mixing up.
As far as I can tell, Damascus is the same
They
rough
did-
location as
to be
it
fair,
was
they
in the
did
third
do that with
Millennium BC.
Constantinople.
Okay, then I must be thinking of a different city then.
Because now it's
Yeah.
Istanbul, not Constantinople.
Yeah.
Which we'll learn plenty about in one of the Assassin's Creed 2 spin-offs, because
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh,
there is
yeah.
one where we go to Constantinople, not Istanbul.
I totally forgot about that.
Here there may be giants.
Yeah, that's the one you go to when you're old, I think.
Brotherhood?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think Brotherhood's the way.
That actually does sound about right, yeah. Yeah, he's got two.
It might be.
So for the record, I'm just up here because they're talking.
I don't know if it's Bloodlines or Brotherhood. It could be either one. I don't remember, but it's one of them. I'll tell you that much.
My family is sick and dying. Could you spare a few coins? No, you don't understand. I have nothing.
Wow, they didn't actually allow me to drop before.
It was. We'll learn about all kinds of it. Maybe we'll find out about how it was once New Amsterdam.
Failed the order, which means I have failed my client.
We need more time.
This is the excuse of a lazy or incompetent man.
Or
Which are
that
you?
was a different.
Neither.
What I see says otherwise.
Now I'm just mixing up all the lyrics of the song in my head
What do
because it's
you
very
intend to
catchy.
do to solve
It
this
is.
It's a very
problem of
catchy
ours?
piece.
I'm actively
weapons
trying
are
not to
needed
think of
now.
the lyrics.
I see no solution. The men work day and night, but your client requires so much, and the destination.
Oh no.
It is a difficult route.
Alright,
That you
we're not big
produce
enough to
weapons
get
with the same
copyright claimed
skill
yet.
As you produce
Give it
excuses.
time.
I have done all I can.
No, you're never
is
too
not
small to be
enough.
copyright claimed, but
Then perhaps you
fortunately,
ask too much.
humming like 3 notes is not enough.
I gave you everything.
That's fair.
Without me,
I'm pretty
would
sure you
still
need
be
5
charming
uninterrupted
serpents to the
seconds.
point.
We might need
I
to
promote
put
that
down
to actually play official audio and not like sing it
And you
yourself.
say
and
I ask
write
too
No, I
much?
a polka of all of the humming you do.
I think if you sing yourself to like too
dare
appropriate music,
disrespect
like that's one thing. But like if you're just
Please
like,
tell me
you know,
I-
badly belting out a
I mean,
lyric that
get your mouth
Okay,
shut.
but there's a difference between applying the parody laws and applying the
Yeah.
copyright
Just
laws.
getting started.
Even
Yeah.
whether or not it's actually illegal, it's a question of whether or not it gets enforced by whoever has the legal right to.
well,
AKA,
that guy is
big-
very dead.
Stood before my men and dared to insult
Yeah, I
me.
remember the first two being pretty evil, and then the last several are like, no, we're actually just like more lawful.
Yeah. Like,
the body.
the Templars are generally presented as a
Let this
lawful
be a
evil
lesson to the rest
organization,
of you.
as long as we don't dive too deep into
Think
alignment.
twice before you
Yeah.
tell me something cannot be done.
Down that pathway's madness.
Get back to work.
Yes, indeed. Checkpoint reached.
Way too cheery.
My family is sick and dying. Could you spare
Wow,
a few
you ruined
coins?
that entire pool of water.
I need food.
Pathetic. Absolutely.
How
Where did you learn your craft?
Now I know that guy's evil.
I know what you learn like that. He'll not get past.
Be at peace. You'll pay for this. You and all your kind.
Requiescat
It seems you're the one pays now, my friend. You'll not profit from suffering any longer.
You think me some
That's
petty
what really
death
was so
dealer,
iconic.
settling at the breast of war?
The entire
A
Assassin
strange
Brotherhood.
target, don't you think?
Oh yeah,
It's
Why
all
me,
there.
when so many
That's
others
yeah.
do
That's
the
yeah.
same?
Also, you had a lot of
You believe
influence,
yourself
but
different.
I feel like there's a reason why Requiescat in Pace specifically became more associated with it than any other version of the kind of things they do.
To be fair, Ezio was
Brothers.
literally the mentor. He
he
was
thinks
the
I am
great
alone.
teacher of the Assassin's
I
Order.
am
Yeah,
but a
and you got
piece.
3 full games of
man
just
with a
him.
part
yeah,
to play.
that is true.
Two of which were spent
You're
rebuilding
going to
said
know the
order
others soon.
proactively.
They won't take kindly to what you've done.
Good. I look forward to ending their lives as well.
Such pride. It will destroy you, child.
At least this guy gives him at least some pretty reasonable advice.
So we know precursor powers involve affecting the minds of people. We also know Eagle Vision is a precursor power.
Yes!
And look how those guys were staggering back after you interrogated.
Oh yeah.
So are you implying that the fact that you have like 17 uninterrupted minutes to listen to them talk when you kill them
Might literally be
is
based
actually
on...
literally a thing happening in universe and not just a approximation?
They're also literally sharing the information that a lot of them don't have a reason to share. A lot of them aren't selfless enough to share it in their dying moments, or don't seem to be. But if it was a subtle use of hypnotic suggestion,
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
it would explain how the precursors are able to keep the plan going so well.
That is true.
Run for the hills! Okay, come on. You could have made it.
No, he needs ladders. I'll pay her
You
spade
know what
for
I
needing
will
ladders.
truly be waiting for in this series? We're eventually going to hit on the stupidest possible in-jokes that we're going to continue to repeat through every Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
And I will truly agree with that, because that's always my favorite thing, is it's never the good jokes that stick with me from watching people do Let's Plays of games and stuff. You know, like, okay, sure, the occasional good joke will stick.
I remember our playthrough of Chain of Memories, so I know exactly what you mean.
You know,
It's a chain.
the absolute
Memories.
Yes. But sometimes the absolute stupidest, like, bits or just, like, the basic, like, running gags with, like, running...
That poll has no power here.
Yeah, we're just running NPC bits are my absolute favorites. Like, oh yeah, one Phoenix Wright thing was like, oh yeah, just the like running bit that it's like, okay, like, you know, just this one specific cop in the background of like the one scene every single game, every single case. It's like, oh yeah, they just treat him like a character and occasionally do like a, you know, start treating him as if he's there. It's like, oh yeah, hey, bagel cop, you know. How you doing? You know, like, my these little conversations every time they're back there in the same room again with the guy. Just, you know, the guy who's there in the background of the scene, you know. It's like, okay, like, it's like, basically, it's not really much of a bit. It's like, I will never forget Bagel Cop for the rest of my life.
Fair. I mean, that's the reason why I showed you guys the whole Gentle Bush thing.
To be fair, part of the reason I thought about that was because I was playing one of the other cases on that last Phoenix Wright game I was playing like months and months ago. I was playing one, and despite being in another country, with it, everything is very clearly like an XP of the original stuff. They've got a judge who, like, you know, looks like he could be the twin brother of that, except for the fact he's got, like, you know, the outfit from this country and like a different hairstyle slightly and everything, you know. Same thing. And same thing, they've got the same looking detention room, but like, you know, this other country style. And just like that, there's a soldier guy sitting in the exact same spot, you know, as Bagel Cop in the regular scene.
That reminds me of the Three Houses guard. There's this guard at the front door into the cathedral place in Three Houses, and he's there through whenever you're in the between missions area, the cathedral, or whatever it's called.
I don't know. I've never played Three Houses, nor will I ever play Three Houses.
Garreg Monastery, that's the term.
Like, I will probably play it eventually, but I
won't. I refuse to engage in Fire Emblem.
Whenever you're
especially Fire Emblem again.
In the monastery, there's this one guard who's always there, and you can talk to him. He's always offering you information, trying to be helpful. But if you take the secret route,
Rafik,
Three Houses has surprisingly 4 routes.
Yeah, it's like when they did the whole advertisement stuff for Fire Emblem Base. They said that there's 2 routes, and then they because they wanted to hide the 3rd route.
Yeah, the secret way to unlock the 4th route is talking to one of the major characters on that route. If you remember to do that, you'll unlock it. Pretty complex. But if you do it and you return to the monastery after the time skip, you see the same guard there, and you're like, hey, you're here. He's like, oh, I don't know you. Fills the exact same role. Apparently, he's the other guy's twin brother.
What's the matter, Doc? Miss Stillman's once again insisting I let you rest.
Always reminds me of a game I like, but was very, very niche piece of game. Where most of the enemies were generic, but there was like 2 generic like enemies in some of the areas that wouldn't attack you and were actually named NPCs. And if you let the one specific enemy live, if you're going through the area, like even if you're killing every single other person, if you avoid this one specific generic-looking soldier, you could find the logs about how they safely escaped and like went off to go, you know, live somewhere safe together.
Yeah.
Deadline.
I can't talk about it.
Man, put yourself in my shoes. I'm being held hostage by a group of scientists. At least I think you're scientists. And forced to spend
They are
all day in
scientists.
some crazy-ass machine. You won't tell me what you're looking for or why you want it, but I'm supposed to be thanking you for keeping me alive. This is so fucked. Sorry, but it is.
Come on,
What do
Desmond.
you
Tell us
want
how
me to
you
do?
really feel.
He just
Let's
did.
see. I don't know. Maybe give me some answers?
Exactly.
I can't. And it's better this way. Safer.
Safer for who?
Both of us.
Time for snooping.
Gosh darn scientists.
We're snooping.
Not really. We're actually resting.
Oh. We snooped last time we were out of the Animus, so I thought we were gonna do it again. And I guess we still have time to snoop maybe after we wake
The
up.
following morning.
Maybe not.
Let's go, Mr. Miles. Time's wasting.
Probably.
Yeah, that's not
I still think one of my favorite, one of the silliest complaints I see a lot of people do, or a lot of people have whenever it's any sort of media, is whenever someone has shoes on their bed, there's always one commenter there's like, shoes off the bed!
Where's Lucy?
Oh, don't worry. She'll be with us soon enough.
So why are you
Makes
doing all
sense.
this, Doc? What are you hoping to accomplish?
You turn the television on lately? Read the newspaper?
Never cared much for that stuff.
Then let me sum it up for you. The world's a mess. It's pathetic, really. You've seen it firsthand yourself. 1,000 years between you and your ancestor, and society remains just as barbaric, just as stupid.
And your point is?
Order, Mr. Miles. The world needs order. That is what we're working towards, and that is what you're helping us to achieve.
You expect me to believe you're building a better tomorrow?
That's exactly what we're doing. The human race calls out for direction. They want to know why they're here, what they're meant to do. Well,
Where are they
we're
going?
going to tell them. And once they understand how to live their
Where did they come
lives,
from? Where did they go?
everything
Where
will
you
be
come
better.
from?
Better
On that
how?
joke.
An end to all conflicts, large and small. Isn't that what you assassins strive for? Peace in all things?
I told you, I'm not an assassin.
Very useful,
Right,
though.
right.
I still
people who
don't
are
see
not,
where I
you
fit
know.
into things.
In time,
Back at this point in the
Mr.
first game of
Miles.
the series.
In time,
God,
you'll
what are the
understand.
assassins? This was such a useful
Oh, you
piece of
won't.
info.
I
It
don't
was.
care either way, as long as you show us where it is.
I will say, in
Where
terms of
what is?
Sorry, late.
philosophies,
Ready to
the
go?
Assassin's Order does have one of
Yes,
my favorites.
We are.
Fair.
Was it, nothing is a lie, everything is permitted?
Nothing is true. Everything is permitted.
I never remember exactly what it is. It's kind of catchy, but like, you know, I understand it's more metaphoric than literal.
Yeah, I think it's a little more literal in the early points in the Order. Ezio is really the one that transforms it from that into,
What we see for the rest of
When
the
you have
series.
been exposed to the gods,
yeah,
break
where
their
it's,
line of
it's
sight
more about
and try to hide
morality
from
is
them.
very subjective,
Stay hidden until you are anonymous.
but you have to support freedom in some manner or another. I mean, Assassin's Order are generally chaotic, mostly good, as a counterpart to the Templars'
Tamir
lawful
spoke
evil.
as if he knew you well. He implied my work had a larger meaning.
Significance comes not from a single act, but the context within which it is performed. The consequence is born of it.
Then is there more I need to know?
Altair, your greatest failure was born of knowing too much. If I choose to withhold information, it is only to ensure you do not make the same mistake a second time.
I see.
No, you don't. And it will remain this way until you've learned your lesson. Still, you have performed competently.
You
And
need
as
to
such,
eat
I
the
restore
humble
a
pie,
rank and will
Altair.
return a piece of your equipment. Go now.
Sweet,
Either to
thank
Akka
you.
or Jerusalem. There are men in both cities who require your attention. The Bureau leaders can tell you more about what needs to be done.
one of these related things is that I do kind of appreciate that, like okay, the character design going on here.
Counter kill. There we go.
Yep,
Finally.
the one we need.
Now
We
we'll
also
never be hurt again.
Also have more hit points.
Short
Does this mean
blade.
Altair was more or less likely to get hit from this point?
Couldn't quite decide
it seems
last
my
time.
students do not fully understand
What
what
it does mean
to
is we have to
wield
do
the
some more
blade.
tutorials.
Perhaps you could show them what you know.
But
This really is a new Ubisoft game.
yeah, in the early games here, it was kind of groundbreaking character design in its way. Like the cloak and outfit and everything is very excellent design. But I do appreciate the fact that the individual protagonist characters get more design in and of themselves as we progress further. Because Altair, his entire character design is the cool assassin outfit they created for the entire franchise and the whole order, and then the absolute most generic mid-2000s protagonist look dude
The work of a master.
face under that.
That's a completely accurate description. You're 100% right. No notes.
Ezio does get some improvement as his own distinct character in terms of like visual design.
The cape.
Cape does a lot.
You must be busy.
But even as
I
that, he
understand.
is still a little bit less elaborated on compared to some of the other like main characters in his own game, like Da Vinci, etc. Get a little bit more work put in some
You must
levels.
be
I will
busy.
say, I think
I
Ezio, like
understand.
he does do
It
the job well,
takes
but I do
time
appreciate
to
that we
draw
kind of get a
another
little more variation,
Ensure your first
one
name
individual like
is
facial
also your
I like-
expression design as we go.
With Altair is the fact that they match his, they intentionally match his appearance with Desmond's almost identically.
That is true. They do have the exact same.
Scar.
Hang on.
They have the same scar.
Hang on. Skill with every weapon he knows.
I know where he's going.
No.
Is Altair a Lancelot face? Did he steal Desmond's face when Desmond observed him from the future?
I wonder what scared him.
We
Sure.
can't rule it out.
Sure.
Please have some counter. I can't respond to this.
I don't have one. And I mean, the only other counter I have is that, obviously, they're a Link.
Nah, they're not blonde.
They're just a brown-haired Link.
Everyone knows brown-haired Link doesn't exist. It's
The
never
problem
happened
here
before.
is Altair has voice lines. So he can't be a Link. Every Link speaks exclusively in
Not true. Link also speaks in Kaku.
Yeah,
Or at least she throws
my point
chickens
is,
at people, which
my point is
the same thing.
Link does not vocalize words.
I
Altair
realize I'm
does
running
that a
like,
lot.
wait, I just went past a horse.
Wait. Who needs horses?
To be fair, if this was Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, I would just be running everywhere.
But there's a lot of games where I'll just run right past my mouth.
You again.
Jack 2. I ran past so many flying cars
I've done that before.
in Jack and Daxter 2.
Yeah, because all I did was just run.
But have you beaten the game without ever collecting a precursor orb?
Oh man.
No, I like myself.
Rest in peace, game champ. Your sanity. I'm still surprised you have some sanity.
Every version of like coinless orbless style thing is wacky to me. It's like
At least it wasn't Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories with one card.
Oh my gosh.
it's funny to me because like that makes sense to me as a challenger. Like obviously it's insane. But,
Oh, yeah.
like, restricting your options like that. You just kind of like, play the shooter game with no gun, with, least shots fired. You ever like play the game without ever using a weapon. Like
It's about efficiency.
those kind of restrictions make sense to
Oh my
me.
god, he's Arm Master.
But play the game without ever collecting a basic form of currency
Or by pickpocketing
kind of
funds.
feels more counterintuitive to the usual style of challenge run to me,
That's fair.
in a way. Like,
It always reads to me as you're approaching the opposite side of the spectrum.
a little bit.
But it makes sense to me, because the one side of the spectrum is I'm restricting my options, my outputs, or my inputs, I mean. The other side, I'm restricting how much of the world I have to interact with. So, those feel like the two major categories of challenge runs to me.
I guess it seems to me that it's like, okay, like, you know, some of these tools, the game, like, essentially, I guess, usually as this tool I am not using, or I am only using this tool, is kind of the type of challenge run that makes the most sense to me personally. Just like, oh yeah, I will beat the game with every single unit in this tactical game will be this one class. Also, this is the only weapon I'm ever allowed to use.
To be fair, not collecting something in a collectathon game feels... it rocks. That follows internal logic when you focus from the perspective of what genre the game is.
A little bit. It's just something that doesn't occur to me naturally.
That's fair.
To the same degree. It just happens a lot, like, you know, things like... A little bit more so in a game that is a deliberate collectathon, like, okay, like, you know, it's like, okay, like, what is the minimum number of bananas you can beat Donkey Kong 64 with? And it's like, okay, like, that does kind of make a little sense to me, but the idea of playing, like, you know, a platformer where, like, the Mario coinless kind of style thing in particular is something that kind of seems like it to me, because to me, the coins just kind of are irrelevant for the most part. Like, they serve some roles, but, like, they're just kind of there in the levels, to me, I guess.
For a lot
and
of
it's
them,
like one of those things
definitely.
where, like, when somebody says, oh, I'm going to play Mario without collecting points, I just, like, I've literally never even conceived of that as a challenge run before. Like, it works. It makes sense. I understand the challenge once it is presented to me, but it is just not something that ever occurred to me or would have occurred to me in the first place. Whereas, I'm going to play this game using only this weapon. I'm going to play the game, you know, using only this one power-up. Those kinds of things do occur to me when I think through a game.
That makes sense.
Somebody says one of those challenges, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
My core, when I think of Mario, my two core experiences are the Paper Mario series and and Super Mario 64. Those are the building blocks, so I'm like, oh, not collecting health items. That makes sense in Super Mario 64 playlist. Or not collecting currency, that also rocks pretty well. But yeah, no, if I had more experience with the other Mario games, besides the original, I can definitely see not making that connection since you don't really do anything with them. I guess they just build up your score in most of those games.
Yeah,
and 1-ups if you get 100.
Yeah. There are a few kind of exceptions that sometimes you can buy like extra items in some of them or whatever, but like it's usually not the biggest. As I learned in Mario Wonder, some of the coin-like items are required to open some of the overworld routes to some levels.
Interesting.
So the coinless route I watched is require a lot of extra routing, including the fact that apparently you can do some ludicrous out-of-bounds glitches on the overworld level selection map.
We know the Super Crown exists.
Yeah.
What if there's like an Altair hood that exists as a power-up?
That would be fun.
Another one that didn't get quite the level of meme treatment, but is also like wacky for possibilities, is there's an item that just clones you.
Yep, that's true.
True.
Okay, so I'm just gonna seek a knife from here.
I did see a few people who like use that in comic jokes right around the same time as the Super Crown stuff. You know, it's a cherry, I think.
Yeah, it's the clone. Yeah, the clone cherry.
But it did not hit the same level of stuff. But I think that's also
okay. Am I going to die?
It's very funny to just have an item that makes clones of you as an in-setting thing, and to just not ever see people like use it for like fan art. You know.
Yeah, that's fair. Blame the power of very specific fan arts getting very popular very suddenly.
I do also think part of it has to do with, you know, just the different kinds of, grapes and vantage and stuff kind of end up sort of focusing on different kinds of things.
Get out of the way!
Like how Bleach basically never had a good fan art person in the fandom, so it just never got any good fan art.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah,
like some things like, okay, like you get lots of like art or writing, but like nothing else. Some things you get tons of people who make like part of this is like a feature of like, you know, how big it is, but for like Pokemon, for example, Pokemon gets like more fan games than like anything else on planet Earth, you know? Even other things that are like, you know, perhaps could be considered equally popular.
I'm trying to think of counterparts, but yeah, no, it really does just get to both.
Yeah, like people like sometimes
it's
you
the
do
fan
get
game
it,
series.
like Mario, for example.
It's kind of easy to do.
Yeah, like basically, like you could say like, oh, Mario. You could consider Mario and Pokemon like equal, you know,
it's
in
like
the same like
stratosphere.
Yeah, the same order of magnitude, popularity, you know. But it's like, okay, Mario fan games, like that kind of thing exists occasionally, but not really to the same level as like Pokemon ones.
You see more Mario ROM packs than you. And
Pokemon gets plenty of ROM packs too.
I would say Mario overtakes Pokemon in ROM packs, but Pokemon overtakes Mario in fan games.
Yeah.
Pokemon also gets a lot more like serial number filed off games, not just fan games. Still.
Oh yeah.
Which probably does influence the number of fan games to get to Zobo, either as the origin of them or at the origin of the parody ones.
Yeah, another thing that kind of just makes sense with is like music. Because like, well, there's always people who do like fan-based music stuff. There are a lot of things that don't get like. There are exceptions, right?
Most things aren't your fandom.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's tons of things where like, okay, you get a little bit of music, like and particularly like when it comes to like remixes and mashups.
Yeah.
Like I know Kirby, tons of people do like mashups and like remixes of Kirby soundtracks.
Oh yeah.
But there's tons of things where it's like it just doesn't really happen very much, Nintendo has always gotten like a reasonable amount of some of this. There are, the Nintendo music's always pretty good, of course.
Yeah.
People do like to like, Mario theme smashed up with like this pop song or whatever, Things like that are always things that happen, but
Final Fantasy gets a lot of like crossover art within itself. Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy crossovers.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
And not just like actual crossover stuff, but also this character dressed up as a red mage or whatever is pretty popular.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bleach never really had any big names in terms of fan art. It just didn't draw in artists nearly as much, but it did draw in a lot of writers. Bleach had some pretty prolific fanfic authors for a while.
Honestly, another one that I can think of off the top of my head that had pretty prolific writers, Sword Art Online.
Oh, true. That one got a lot of crossovers.
Yeah.
That was not very nice.
Yeah.
People
also,
like
of
that
course,
Seiya.
Ranma in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
Sailor Moon's in the same category, of course.
Yeah. Sailor Moon's actually an interesting one because Sailor Moon got a lot of fan art, but a lot of it was this my OC as a Sailor Senshi in the Sailor Moon style.
Yeah, actually, that's another good specific example. Because a lot of people will do fan art of characters, but my OC as a X type of character is a thing that only really gets hugely popular. Like the X series Sona only really gets popular in certain kinds of things.
So you're saying Sailor Moon and Sonic are in the same stratosphere of that?
Yes. I guess
I'm just imagining a hedgehog.
I heard a little like
Sailor Moon
the phrase thing is like another one where people like do similar kinds of things sometimes. Yeah, like there's some of these things where like, oh yeah, like everyone and their mom, who's interested in this is at some point like made like this thing. You've got billions of like original characters that are like characters in the setting, and some series just don't do that. Everyone just engages with like, or at least the vast majority more people engage with the existing characters, whereas someone's like, okay, I'm just going to use this world like Naruto I think is like another good counterpoint like here. Like Naruto and a lot of the anime things are very popular, but you don't get as many people saying, oh yeah, here is my character as a Naruto ninja. It happens somewhat, but it's not nearly as common relative to some of these others.
I'd honestly put
maybe that's a bad example.
Naruto as the midpoint between like Sailor Moon and Sonic and stuff that doesn't do it.
Maybe that's fair. Maybe that was a bad example, but
like there's plus the thing is though to be
my point being
one of the divides
exist.
Yeah. One of the divides there, one of the nuances in Naruto at least, you get a lot more OC self-inserts than almost any fandom. You get so many self-inserts in Naruto, or pseudo self-inserts.
Yes, that makes sense.
It became like 5 different fic genres on its own.
Hi!
Hoi!
How's it going?
Yeah, no, I was thinking of Ezio.
How's it
I
going?
remember basically this song, but with Ezio.
Your presence annoys.
It's fine.
That wasn't a gentle push.
Yeah. Come on, no gentle pusherino. But yeah, I definitely do think it's interesting how different fandoms and fan communities kind of
Coalesce
sometimes,
into
like, you know,
different patterns.
there are a lot that kind of are, I guess, standard pattern, at least relative to like things these days. Lots of like, you know, TV shows that'll get ones that it's like, okay, like, you know, the main thing here. But like, so yeah, there's always like ones where it's kind of a standout. Like this particular type of art, you know, like, oh, this particular genre of character, or this particular type of like edit, video, you know, or even just like, you know, the thing where it's like music or videos or writing is just vastly disproportionate to the size compared to most others.
Yeah, they bring in a specific sort of band.
Such as what I am told all the time recently is Breaking Bad fans are on another level when it comes to editing clips. That's what I'm always hearing.
They are. I've seen some of it.
Jesse, we have to build Balenciaga.
You know, the one thing that throws me off is Bleach gets fewer self-insert type characters than I would expect in terms of like customs.
Here's my OT as the Shinigami.
Yeah, like
just doesn't come around as much.
Yeah, which is weird because it's got such a good transformation system for and you know power-up system for real creativity with it. Because the only thing every Zanpakuto shares, for example, is yours is the bestest whatever adjective in Bankai. That's the one thing every Zanpakuto is true about. It is the best at this thing. It is the most beautiful. It is the hottest. It is the deadliest. It's the fastest. Whatever it is. It's the one most likely to get to have me punished with the Geneva Convention. That's toy puns.
I'll take your word for it.
It's a fat man. Her Bankai is literally just a
Okay,
new.
bye. I'm just gonna fund this tower now. I know you're going to get reinforcements, but
I'll pass it to a rocket
I'll
launcher.
take your word for it. I'm sorry. I never, I only watched some of Bleach. Most of the memories slipped away afterwards.
That's fair.
And it's just a hole.
Yeah, the part of the problem is I think Bleach ran a little too long and synthesized a few too many of the various species into the main character.
Yeah.
Along with the existence of Vizards, Arrancar, Fullbringers, who are basically just human Vizards.
Yeah, like, once we got past the Arrancar, like, once we started adding some of the others, I think was when we started getting a bit too much, but, like...
I mean, the problem was Kubo had a really good first arc.
Oh, yeah.
And then, for entirely understandable reasons, just kind of retold the Invasion of Soul Society multiple times. And stale ideas does not make a #1 manga.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which is sad because it was a great setting.
Oh yeah.
When he was able to do his art without prior to the injury, he was.
Honestly, he was a good artist. Even after the injury, he was still a pretty good artist.
Yeah, he just had to take out a lot of detail to
Yeah.
actually keep up.
Oh, yeah, but a lot of manga artists run into that when they start getting popular, or if they move to a weekly.
Well, yeah, he was weekly Shonen Jump, based, I think, from literally.
Well, yeah, no,
chapter
that's
one.
what I'm saying. Like, when you do weeklies for a long time, you start to lose out on details.
A lot of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got to the point where he just straight up didn't have backgrounds 90-something% of the time,
Yeah, I
even when
remember
he
that.
needed it.
Yeah.
Honestly, if Bleach had been a month on a monthly magazine, I think it would have worked a lot better.
There's quite a few series that I feel that way about.
One Piece is not one of them.
Yeah, One Piece is not one of them because Oda has enough consistency with One Piece that he's kind of able to make it work.
I think many of these people should have to do weeklies.
Oh no.
If they want to, sure, but the way that, like, you know, a lot of these like running shonen series are kind of forced to do weeklies.
Well,
it's rough.
Well,
it's so hard on these people.
Part of it is also because there's actually quite a few of them that want to do weeklies.
Well, I mean, and part of the whole thing, like, they want to do it because the weeklies are like what?
They're the prestigious ones.
It's like,
too.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. Yes, it's the stuff that works that they want to do it.
Yeah, I know. It's just so rough on these people.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's a larger cultural problem. Though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's more of a cultural problem. But like it's definitely rough. It's the whole thing of just remember, guys, you can take breaks.
Brakes? I didn't know that was a real thing that was even around.
That's why they call it, say, them's the breaks.
Yeah, them's the breaks. I know that's one thing Oda, Eiichiro Oda does. Because every so often he will take like a few week breaks.
Soldiers will leave their posts to investigate them.
Either to do
allowing
research
you
on
to enter
something
the area they
or
regard.
just to, you know,
Relax for a little while.
Relax for a little while and take time on some drawing stuff.
Makes sense.
I know, like, consistently. He'll do it, like, throughout the year, but I think, like, he'll consistently take off, like, December. At least, like, the later weeks of December.
He knows how to make it work for him.
Yep.
Whoa. We are good at Vijima games. Look at that.
Look at the wall.
You know,
congratulations, you won! And that's the end of the game.
Oh no, it's not a racing game though.
Emotionally, those horse legs feel really accurate to me because they look equally as fake as every horse leg I've ever seen in real life.
Fair. It's fair.
Horse legs don't look real when you're looking at a, 9-foot tall horse and trying to figure out how it can walk on those.
As a great man once said,
Okay.
goodbye horses,
please,
you
thank
don't
you.
exist.
Please?
Want something?
Fine.
And I agree wholeheartedly. Horses are fake as hell.
They are pretty fake.
Considering my neighbor takes care of a couple of horses, no, they are not fake.
I
grew up around them. I still don't believe you.
I think you're being fooled by government spy drones pretending to be horses. Much like the birds.
Or cats. Well, no,
cats are real, though. They're from hell.
Well, cats are the cleanup crew.
They are very cute, but they are from hell.
No, the cats are the cleanup crew.
That makes sense. If you died with a pet in your apartment, would you be bothered if it tried to eat you?
No, not in the long
I don't
run.
know if I'd be bothered because I'd be dead.
Yeah,
Me right now, I would be bothered. Yes.
Yeah, if I died, I wouldn't be bothered in the long run because
Still, best not to take any chances. I'll hurry home. Don't
You're
think
the
I'll leave
only
it again
one here who
anytime
would be
soon
bothered.
either. You've done me a kindness, young man. Be assured,
Someone doesn't like feeding
won't
cats.
forget it.
Well, we don't have a cat anyway, so that's okay, I guess.
Come back! Again.
Baby, come back!
Yeah, you fit right in.
Yeah, honestly, I'm just a head monk.
With your walking stick and everything.
I guess that is true. So, why does this guy have like that bandolier? Oh, he's the most important one.
Yeah, like straight up.
That would work if it wasn't for the fact that these guys, that if they ask that question, these guys would go, "Huh? Who?"
All I'm saying is we can literally say Altair hired escorts. We'd be lying, but we can say it.
Let me tell you what Talal can offer. The comforts of a fine life
yeah.
can be yours.
Can Altair hire people in this one?
Troubled times in which
You
we
can
live.
have groups of people
Food
join
is
you,
scarce,
like the vigilantes, but
money
you can't
tight,
explicitly hire
but it
people like
need
in
not be this way.
2 or
Okay, I wasn't sure if the
Opportunities for
mechanic was
those
introduced
with the
later.
courage to seize them.
Strange, I've never seen
Yeah, it's more like
Understand your
they
pain.
will be
What you
around,
lack,
and
he
if
will
you
provide.
get into
All
something,
that is
they
asked
will help.
is an honest day's
That's
work.
fair.
A small sacrifice for great rewards. Who knows what the future holds?
I'm
What
not doing the
tragedies tomorrow
interrogation
may
yet
bring.
because I need to get those away
Defend
for it.
against an uncertain future.
The most
Protect
important
the ones
thing.
you love. Work hard and you will be rewarded. Talal provides. Now why is he doing that? Talal
Yeah, no, I'm starting to
understands
believe
your
the
pain. What you lack, he will provide.
Altair has
All that
ADHD
is
thing.
asked is an honest day's work. A small
Honestly,
sacrifice for great
speaking of
rewards.
another character that definitely has ADHD and the Assassin's Creed,
in which we
Ezio
live.
definitely has it.
Food is scarce, money tight.
You mean when he collects like 300 flags for a new cape?
Yeah.
With the courage to seize them.
Because that one felt slightly
That's
more
just normal
autistic.
behavior
No longer go without. Any man willing to work can
for a
have his
collectathon character.
Speak with me. Let me tell you what Talal can offer. The conqueror
What I'm saying is, you have to decide: is Ezio a banjo or a kazoo?
Yes.
What you lack, he will
I'm gonna go with
All
both.
that is asked is an honest day's work.
Ezio's 100% a
For
Banjo-Kazooie.
great rewards.
Same vibe.
Who knows what the future holds? What tragedies tomorrow may bring? Defend
Have you
against
not
an
played
uncertain
Banjo-Kazooie?
future.
I
Protect
played
the
some of
ones you love.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Work hard,
But I
and
did
you
not
will
finish
be
it
rewarded.
because
Talal provides.
I have a lot of trouble getting through
That's
Nintendo 64 collectathons.
I mean, it's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I remember as a
Same
kid.
reason why I never finished Donkey Kong 64 when I was a kid.
I don't know what game it was, but as a kid, I always went to Blockbuster and picked up the same copy of the same Nintendo 64 game. And I was always save 3 because nobody ever overwrote save 3.
I mean, it's fair.
1, 2, and 4, every week they all had been overwrote, but that one never. So I was doing an entire playthrough of this game, and I got all the way to the final level. And then Blockbuster as a company shut down.
Yeah, it's
rough.
I don't know what game it was. To this day, I wish I did, but I don't. I have scrolled through page after page of Nintendo 64 game trying to find it, but no luck.
I have nothing to say to you.
Speak to me or speak to God. It's your choice.
You won't stop the work he does.
It's a pretty
Cannot
good
stop
line.
it.
Stop
That
what?
is.
What work?
He's up there with Delita.
He prepares
Don't
them
blame me.
for the
Blame yourself
journey.
or God.
Journey where?
They are held in his warehouse. And
classic,
when the
to be
time
fair.
comes, they are sent to Akka.
after all.
Where's this warehouse? And why Akka?
Talal
I have the
tells
power
me
of
what
God
I
and
need to know.
anime on my side.
Nothing more. It is safer that way.
Those are some
For
powerful
him,
elder
perhaps.
forces.
But not, I fear, for you.
Not rest in peace, that guy.
Call of Cthulhu, or one of those like Lovecraftian stories, where everything's a completely stereotypical Elder Mythos story.
Makes sense.
Except when you actually summon the Elder God, they're just a weeb. And then it turns into an isekai.
Well, who's the what's the protagonist's names from the slime one?
Oh, yeah, the time I was reincarnated as a top slime.
Rimuru? Yeah, something like that.
Rimuru, that's
Yeah, no,
I watched like
it'd be
a
like
few
that.
episodes of that at one
It'd be
point.
that.
I never got very far in it, I think.
I don't think I've ever watched it.
I've watched the
I
first
like parts of the
episode.
concept of the first episode at least. So I think I watched the first episode like once, and then a couple of years later, at some point, I watched like 3 or 4.
Rimuru Tempest.
And like it got a little bit more of my attention, but it just didn't click long enough for me to continue very much past that.
Yeah, I didn't even know the protagonist regularly commits like actual war crimes until I found it out at a convention.
Okay, but it is an isekai. That's just kind of a given, really.
And like isekai,
Like, they're
also they're fantasy races,
Yeah.
and the guy literally is now like a slime.
I mean, yeah. I'm just talking about the time he kills like 50,000 people just kind of casually. Anyway, I found that out at an anime convention last year, and I was like, oh, that's what this one's about. I've never been able to get into reincarnated slime.
If you step back far enough, really, and you think about it,
Turn back now.
really, every anime is about war crimes.
That's something.
Or sorry, every isekai.
I was about to ask about how. Actually, no. That's
Some
me.
non-isekai are also about
I was gonna
war
say
crimes.
cooking with the Emiya family, but no, that's actually is about war crimes.
But, I mean, you know, you can go look at you can find war crimes all over the place. Code Geass, so many war crimes.
Oh yeah.
What? Lelouch did nothing wrong.
No, a lot of animes that include a war of some sort, they all include war crimes of some sort.
I remember one story.
Unless you go with the it can't break the Geneva Convention, they
Well-
don't even have a Geneva.
Well, I mean
excuse.
that's also very true.
Yeah, but by our standards, those would have been war crimes.
Oh well, yes.
Which is usually what people mean when they say they did a war crimes in that anime.
Yeah. But it's also fair to point out that they don't technically have a Geneva Convention, so it's fine.
Wait. So war crimes don't normally cover biological powers in terms of Actual Geneva
I'm going to
Convention
interrupt you
rules?
for a moment. I propose that we do the worst kind of game you can and start our own MMO, World of War Crimes. We will probably not get sued.
Okay, if we do that, we need to make it an MMO, but not have any servers. Allow people to play solo and allow them to pay us to hire a server farm to run servers. I'm just trying to think of the most Ubisoft way we can handle this.
There are so many. Incredible.
Right, well, let's see, what was I talking about? War crimes?
We are always talking about war crimes.
Oh, right. Infamous.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
Their powers are biological abilities, but they're arguably not biological weapons. Because they haven't trained in them, so you can't use the martial art excuse of my body as a weapon. Or at least you can't use the legal precedent provided by those arguments. So if you use your, what are they called? What are the superhumans called in Infamous?
Conduits?
Conduit,
Yeah.
thank you. I was thinking channelers. That's Wheel of Time. If you use your conduit powers to commit what is basically a war crime, I think you have enough legal precedent to claim it's not actually a war crime until they recognize your abilities as weapons. Which is the plot of every game after the first, I think.
Incredible. I do love a classic, it's not a war crime if there's a loophole.
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's true.
Which is, it is, to my understanding, the foundation of the entire Tanya series.
Yeah.
This is technically not a war crime.
So the foundation of the entire Tanya series is the, what is it, Chicago School of Economic Thought?
And also the war crime thing.
Well, it justifies the war crime. See, economics is how she justifies the war crimes, because Tanya is the most autistic-coded protagonist of any war crime isekai.
I don't know, Lelouch is pretty up there.
I'm not sure Lelouch Code Geass counts as an isekai.
Oh, yeah, isekai. I missed that line.
Like, one could actually make a solid argument that it is an isekai, the same way a taco is a sandwich.
I have to take the boring route and go save a citizen.
It's an isekai because Lelouch is from the wrong genre.
No, it's an isekai. You can argue the isekai thing because Lelouch is from Britannia. He ends up living a childhood in a completely different country with different cultures and customs. Twice, when he grows up experiencing a new life under a new identity. And then he uses his out-of-context abilities, both the Geass and being an Imperial Prince, to have an outsized effect on the world as a singular person. He's very isekai coded, is what I'm trying to say.
Fair.
You just have to stop interpreting isekai as, what's the literal term for isekai? Another world?
Yeah, essentially going to being transported to another world.
Version of the Portal Fantasy thing, yeah.
No, I mean the actual isekai word. I think it's literally.
Best not to take any chances.
But it is a descendant of the Portal
So
Fantasy
if you,
genre.
yeah.
think
But
I'll
yeah,
leave
so
it
if you
again
don't
anytime
interpret
soon,
it
either.
based on the literal meaning of the
You've done me a
word,
kindness, young man.
Code Geass is an
Be
isekai.
assured, I won't
I can
forget
say,
it.
I will accept it as isekai-like elements, but I am going to stand by the fact that Code Geass really is just a genre fusion, because it is simultaneously an Ouran High School Host Club style high school drama, and also a Tanya the Evil thing, with the war crimes and battle plots and, like, you know, layers on layers of plans. It is the unholy fusion of Ouran, Death Note, and Tanya in a spiritual location directly in the middle of all three of those things. Depending on which part of the show you're at.
I think we have to argue then that Death Note is an optimistic story based off of that argument, just on the fact that the villain dies at the end. Because Tanya is War Crimes McGee, But it's worth noting that it's very Worm in the fact that everything gets worse due to the fact Tanya
She's
keeps
a
committing
coward.
war crimes.
If it wasn't for the money, I'd be long gone.
Like, she wasn't even supposed to be involved in the war.
I wouldn't know about that.
Maybe it's both.
She wasn't even supposed to be involved in the
You didn't see
war.
what happened.
The plan
I saw well enough.
of
Our
the
caravan was attacked, and the first thing he did was
God of
flee.
Reincarnation guy,
No, he didn't run.
Phoenix,
What are you talking about?
is to force her
You
to
forget
grow
what
up
became of the men who attacked
in
us?
post-World
Filled
War
by our
Germany.
archers, thanks be to God.
Not
But she
our
joins
archers,
the
him
army at like
alone.
age
So you're
10?
saying he
7?
saved us?
Something
Yes,
like
he
that?
headed for higher
I'm gonna
ground.
guess 11, but I
Used
don't
his
actually
bow to
know.
kill them.
I watched part of the
had no
anime, but it's
idea.
been a very long
The
time, and
man's
it's all
a
a blur.
master archer.
Yeah.
You do well to remember
Anyway, she
that.
joins at literally the earliest possible opportunity and ends up, well, becoming Tanya the Evil.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's all there in the name, really.
It's only been like a week since the last time I saw this.
Hmm?
Oh, just Arcades thing. Very, they have kind of an equivalent thing with a friend point sort of thing, where you can do these little recruitment tag things. You'll get tags and let you pick the type of unit. For the most part, you only get 3-star anyway. It is technically possible that you can get 4 or 5-star out of 6 from these. The odds are pretty low unless you see a particular type of rare tag that matches certain categories. Fairly rarely, though, you can see the senior operator tag, which guarantees a 5-star with any other appropriate tag. And even more rarely, you will occasionally see top operator, which actually guarantees a 6-star. Matching the tags from a narrow pool. And I've seen this only a handful of times, really. The most recently, like last week. Which makes it really wild that I just flipped it open. Oh. After refreshing tags today, there we are. Nice. So I have to go look up the table to figure out what actually is going on.
There is no greater glory than this.
Because of course, if you have the ability to influence your random 6-star, you really got to look it up and figure out what your options are.
Against the will of God, and must be made to
Seems like you'd want to climb all the way to the top of the building.
Yeah,
if
but
you
the
want.
top doesn't have the little thingy.
But it does have a cross you can straddle.
And they do that in all the later games. But in this game, it is specifically those little protruding things that trigger Eagle Vision and nothing else.
Animus 1.0, why are you like this?
Hero?
We must fight them in any way we can.
I'll ignore the informer mission for right now.
Before you to deliver a warning.
You ever see someone do
The
that for
ritual
no
takes
reason?
Java. There will be no stopping him.
There's a flag.
So I never really looked into the technobabble regarding the Animus too deeply. How is it they managed to go from we literally can only get like scraps of audio files and the occasional still image
Are you kidding me, game?
out of most people's genetic memories, and Desmond is just a really weird super exception? How did they cross from that point to, oh yeah, you got hired here because we need you to, we realized you had useful genetic memories to buy?
I am going to go out on a limb and guess because I actually have no clue about any of the actual lore related to this.
Because I got 2 good theories, but...
My theory is they found a piece of precursor tech of some kind that they used to turn the Animus into what it is now. And it's actually built entirely on rules they don't understand. Which would explain a lot about the Animus in relation to everything else.
That's fair.
The other alternative, I guess, is that most people don't get that much out of it. It's specifically like the bloodline of people, like the Assassin Eagle Vision bloodline, that like allows it to get more data somehow.
Yeah, so I've got...
I don't know.
Well, I mean, the bloodline is directly descended from precursors. My 2 theories are, one, they are,
Infidel, you will die here.
Sorry, give him a second. We need to have a cutscene.
I suggest a gentle push.
Speedball.
Oh, he got your ass.
That was great. Yeah.
You've been got.
When you have been exposed
So
to
the one
arms,
theory is by
protect-
studying Desmond, they were able to develop the technology farther and figure it out. And they're just better at diving through the memories. But my other theory is they do manage to get their hands on Desmond's body again after everything ends. That's canon. And that's right around when they shifted to public-facing genetic memory stuff. Assassin's Creed 4 being the first one where you play as an employee.
Yeah, you're technically just like a regular employee playtesting like
The new
game thing they're launching or whatever.
Basically, virtual tourism.
Yeah.
In the second option, they could just be using Desmond's memories.
Safety and
Desmond's
peace now.
descended from
Your presence
somehow
here
every
deprives
assassin
me
on the
of both.
planet.
What
And he
do you
has
want?
perfect genetic memories to access.
Ask that
Which
you
I
perform
guess
some
they could
is
be
part of
using
the
that to
long-term
build-
precursor plot or something, probably.
So be out with it.
Very well.
'cause
Here's what I know.
they need someone who
He
matching
traffics
his
in
exact
human
makeup
lives,
for
kidnapping
things that happen
Jerusalem
in the next
citizens
3
and
games.
selling them into slavery.
We'll find out about it.
His base is a warehouse located
If they use
inside
his
the
genetic
Barbican, north
memories
of
to
here.
build the
As we
general
speak, he prepares a caravan for travel.
setting
I'll
that they
strike
place
while
all
he's
the other
inspecting
genetic
his
memories
stock.
in,
If I can
then
avoid his
they might
men,
be able to get more
Jamal
accurate
himself
stuff
should prove little
just
challenge.
by
Little
making it
challenge.
half Desmond stuff,
Listen
half
to
what other
such
people experience in their
arrogance.
genetic memories.
Are we finished?
Yeah.
Are you satisfied with what I've
So
learned?
that'd probably be my
No.
biggest,
But it will
seems
have
like the most likely technical explanation. Wow, that was a dusty book.
Mm-hmm.
It was really dusty. It was a human torso amount of dust.
Rest, prepare, cry in the corner.
Dusto?
Do whatever it is you
Dust?
do before a mission. Only make sure
What?
you do it quietly.
He set that book down. Blast of dust about the size of a human torso, or just animus light, could be either one.
Oh, gosh, I see.
So I'm not sure if that would be Dusto or Tordust.
Alright. Now, before we do that, I'm gonna go do other objectives.
You know, one of the Heroic Enemy supervillains, if he had been a superhero with a really stupid name, he could have been Dusto.
They're not gonna let me do it, never mind.
What were you hoping to do?
I was hoping to do some other objectives, but it looks like they want me to just go straight to mission. I thought that even if I start the mission, I could do some other objectives, but
At
I
this
guess
point, I
not.
guess you're probably kind of just locked in.
I mean, a lot of Assassin's Creed game has that limitation at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, one of the primary antagonists of Heroic Enemy's ability is disintegrates things to dust. And for him, it's part of his traumatic backstory and the thing he uses as a supervillain, you know, kills people with, you know, a touch if they let you get your hands on them and all that. Classic, you know, just shit like that. But, you know, if he was instead like, you know, a comedic loser superhero, you know, somebody from like the Chubster school of naming, Dusto as just the guy who turns things to dust, would be 100% appropriate for like a random C-lister Marvel character or some shit. Even if he has the ability to like turn like to a terrifying destructive power, but is just a total loser with it.
I want to argue, but like Plastic Man.
Yeah. Have you seen the bits of Plastic Man in
Infamous?
the Injustice timeline?
Yes, I've reread it multiple times.
I don't think I've seen the whole thing because I had trouble finding like the parts it was from, but I'd seen like a few of the pages at least from that, and man, that's wild. That instantly made me like Plastic Man more than like, you know, 30 years of like 30 years of any other things about it.
Yeah, most of the
I don't follow comics that much,
Disc
but like,
comics, a lot of the primary Infinite sources are on Imager, because like the entire Injustice series has been scanned onto Imager multiple times. Yeah, it's pretty common primary source for those.
Yeah.
I've read too much of it just from random scrolling.
yeah. For the most part, I don't really actually like read comics unless somebody like really recommends like, oh, here's like this specific like couple of pages.
That's fair.
Go check it out, you know.
I normally read specific storylines when I get into them.
There are a few speaking for them that have been earmarked for a long time to go and read. Things that, for one reason or another, have been, you know, something I've been pointed out and interested in, you know.
Yeah.
One of the Hulk storylines from like the last couple of years, I think, I think the Immortal Hulk is one that I've wanted to check out, in which Hulk gets to smash capitalism.
Oh, I think I know.
In a very like well done thematic way, apparently.
Yeah, no, I think I heard about that one, though I haven't read it yet.
I think it includes a villain who is like the literal physical manifestation of like greed.
Yeah, it does.
Or
I remember
something like that, or materialism, or like some kind of like, you know, like a manifest deistic concept as like an antagonist for Hulk to punch the shit out of. And like apparently it does like really excellent stuff on like with the social things going on and everything. At least based on what I saw talked about it once, and the way a guy talked about it made me interested enough that someday I will go check out probably a decent chunk of the series.
That's all sounds familiar. I probably watched a like 2-hour YouTube video about it. Because that sounds really familiar.
Well, the YouTube video I watched that taught me about any of this, I'm pretty sure was more like 40 minutes, and it was mostly about the
it's the same
the new Batman movie.
That's fair.
It just contrasted.
Oh, I've seen that one.
The Immortal Hulk to the new Batman in terms of how they handle like, you know, social stuff. And I probably linked it to you directly.
That one I know I have watched. I think I've watched another one though.
But yeah, that got me kind of interested in checking out the Immortal Hulk at some point. But I have not yet done so.
Yeah,
wow,
I feel
what
like
a
you're not
360-degree view you got from that point you were standing at.
I feel like you're not getting a full view of the city here.
But outside of that,
Eagle
mostly
Vision
been like
doing work.
Mostly it's just specific, you know, couple of pages somebody shows me here, or you know, a 10-page segment like at the most somebody links.
I'm going to get hurt.
Probably like once or twice I've read like, you know, a whole issue's worth.
That's fair.
That it's been recommended, but not often. I'm not really a comic reader usually.
The Injustice timeline's probably one of the better comics to get into, in my opinion.
Based on all the things I've seen, it does look like it's quite well done.
Yeah,
even like
Black Canary and Harley Quinn fighting until Harley Quinn ends up accidentally becoming a godmother. That entire
I have seen that part. But yeah, so there's a lot of I mean, honestly, like they did a lot of interesting stuff even within the like just the baseline Injustice story stuff. Like it did a pretty good job for just a fighting game story. So like, you know, I do respect the Injustice timeline as a really interesting look.
That's fair.
At, you know, the world that isn't always handled with it.
Yeah.
Just like honestly,
in terms
from
of
my very limited understanding, the new kind of bad Suicide Squad game. Apparently, like the story side of it is like, you know, it does some interesting stuff. It has interesting story beats. It's just the game part sucks.
Yeah, I didn't end up looking into it at all. I just heard bad things.
I just heard some stuff on launch and everything. Some people were like throwing hissy fits about the fate of the heroes, and it's like, okay, what do you expect if you play a game called Kill the Justice League? If you play the game, Kill the Justice League, and are mad that a Justice League member you like dies, literally, my brother in Christ, you're the one who played the game.
Yeah.
It's like, how is this the fate that Batman, that you know, our favorite Batman gets? You played the game where they said we're going to kill Batman. What did you expect? You know? Anyway.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I heard about. Like, I heard that and like a couple other things like after lunch. For the most part, I didn't hear anything specific. Just, you know, a few bits and jokes.
Yeah, in terms of
it's just I hear live service and I check out unless I have a very pressing reason to not.
Yeah, same. Yep. But yeah, in terms of
Same here.
evil Supermans, Injustice is definitely one of the best timelines on it. The Justice Lords in what's Justice League Unlimited?
Yeah.
They
good
were...
old Earth 10.
Yeah.
I hate that I know that.
You should.
It came up like one time in something and it just stuck. I'm pretty sure Justice Lords is technically Earth 10.
I think
as opposed to like, I don't know, 16 is like the regular Justice League? I don't know.
616 the regular Justice League?
No, 616 is like whatever like the like current Marvel timeline is. I don't think that's even a relevant number in DC. I don't know.
I know
10, 12, and 16 are all like relevant timelines, I think.
I don't think at the current point, because I think...
Well, I mean relevant as in they were ones that we were like fairly large franchises or relevant to those. There's obviously a lot of ones that matter. Those are ones that I remember as being something I know
current
that Marcus knows.
Point, I think we've had like 3 collapses of the multiverse since then.
Yeah.
I feel like we've had a lot of them in the comics. I just stopped even bothering to assume anything's canon to each other. It's the only way you can enjoy them without, like, hyperfixating.
Well, I mean, yeah, that tends to happen.
If they really need to explain something, they normally explain it decently.
It's not 10, or at least not the version of 10 that showed up when I googled it on the wiki.
Is that the gender bent one?
No, Earth 10 is one where Superman was found by the Nazis and they won World War II. Apparently. At least in the post-crisis timeline. I don't know if this is a different Earth 10 from the one that I was thinking it was.
Also, you're right. 616 is the Marvel.
Yeah, see, I know that because whenever I googled the name of a Marvel character, that character, Earth 616, always shows up on the stupid Marvel wiki. Anytime I've had to try and Google somebody after watching an MCU movie and I couldn't remember the name of a side character.
Nothing. It was folly to even bring you here. To think that you might see and understand.
I understand well enough. Show yourself.
No. That's another number of Googling.
Help me! Save me! So you want to see the man who called you here?
You did not call me here. I came on my own.
Okay, I'm doing this the other way around to make this.
Oh, Earth 50 is the Justice Lords.
Did you once raise your blade
Because yes, Earth 10 is that one. I don't know why I was thinking 10. Earth 12 is Batman Beyond.
All this I did for you.
And that timeline.
Step into the light then.
That makes sense.
Which I think is also then implicitly just that's just the one that the Justice League show happens in. Right, because isn't Batman Beyond technically in the future of that?
Batman Beyond is in the future of Unlimited.
Which is that's all just one
because
timeline.
It takes place.
What is it you desire?
Come down
Batman
here.
Beyond gets connected to the universe during
Why must it always
a
come
season,
to
or maybe even the series
It
finale.
seems
actually.
I cannot help you, for you do not wish to help
Season
yourself.
finale definitely, series maybe.
And I cannot allow my work to be threatened. You leave me no choice. You must die.
He seems nice.
You kill my brother. Prepare.
This will teach you not to
Okay,
trespass.
Amigo Montoya. I will say, if you ever need a perfect way to introduce yourself, just watch episode 6.
Maybe you haven't noticed.
Luke introducing himself to Java. Perfect introduction.
Yeah, it's fair.
Greetings, Supreme Being. He gives them the gift of the droids. He explains why he's there. He kills them at the end. But Leia does. Really perfect way to greet a CEO.
Be done with him. Die, infidel!
Time for the research. I gotta go figure out the rest of these.
Oh no.
I think I already. Oh.
Earth 11 is the gender swap one.
That makes sense. It's always one off, isn't it?
Hi. Ganged up for it. Oh, darn. That was my first actual combat death.
Oof. How many deaths is that
You
now?
have been exposed to the guards. Break their line.
I was not doing a good job at parrying.
We'll call it death 420.
This will teach you not to trespass.
Ah, okay.
Meanwhile, you still
Just treat it like you're playing Final Fantasy X, evade encounter. Nothing else.
Maybe you haven't noticed. No more delays. Done with him. Kill him already.
Okay. 16 is Young Justice. That's Earth 16. That's why I'm thinking of that.
Oh, that makes sense. Are those from Teen Titans?
I don't know if it's on the sim chart. If it is, I just haven't seen it yet. But...
What's wrong with you?
I'm sure it's in here somewhere. I just. To go back to a topic that actually is not just involved looking up bullshit stuff on Wiki, because that's just going to eat a bunch of time and not get us anything useful. With regards to evil Superman and just that kind of thing, I think another one that I've seen a little bit of that I like and I've heard a lot of really good things about was from kind of a series of like, I think they were what ifs that came out as part of like an anniversary thing at some point.
Are you thinking Communist Superman?
Yeah, a Superman from Superman Red Sun.
Yep, that's a really good one.
Because I always hear tons of good things about that and the whole like project that was released as part of.
Yeah, all of those what ifs honestly were fun and interesting. What were the other popular ones? I know I liked them all, but apparently I don't remember any of them. Other than USSR Superman.
Come on.
Okay. If you were doing a what if Assassin's Creed, what would you change in the timeline from what you remember?
There's a lot.
You just have to pick one thing.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
First thing that came to mind.
Could you repeat the question? For clarity.
If you're creating another alternate, like a Marvel-style alternate Earth, what if timeline for Assassin's Creed, what would you pick? Where would you change the timeline? What would be the difference?
Okay. We'd have to go with the incredibly dumb alternative here.
Okay.
Where everything is basically exactly the same, but the Assassin Order are all ninjas instead of assassins. And that is exactly in the vein of something that DC Comics would do as an alternate universe.
Share your secrets with me.
My part is plain. The Brotherhood is not so weak that my death will stop its work.
What Brotherhood?
Al-Mualim is not the only one with designs upon the Holy Land. And that's all you'll have from me.
Then we are finished. Beg forgiveness from your god.
He's long abandoned us. Long abandoned the men and women I took into my arms.
What do you mean?
Beggars, whores, addicts, lepers. Do they strike you as proper slaves? Unfit for even the most menial tasks? No. I took them not to sell, but to save. And yet you'd kill us all. For no other reason than it was asked of you.
No. You profit from the war. From lives lost and broken.
Yes. You would think that, ignorant as you are. Wall off your mind, eh? They say it's what your kind do best. Do you see the irony in all this? No. Not yet, it seems. But you will.
If they replaced assassins with ninjas, the changes are they don't have an iconic look. They probably don't have a hidden blade.
Well, they could have an iconic look.
No, they won't.
In that version of the timeline.
If they're going to be ninjas, you're actually going to embrace them being ninjas. They won't have an iconic look. Until someone makes a play that involves them. Because the iconic look is specifically looking like a commoner, using the items around you, not using any specialized gear. So that would probably be what the early assassins
I'm not
would
talking about realistic ninjas. I'm talking about an in-universe equivalent to these guys, crafted as part of that alternate universe, in which case they would have a cohesive style that is deliberately a ninja-style riff on the assassin uniform here, as part of an in-universe alternate universe construction would be.
Okay, if we're gonna go that far, why don't we just dress them all up in Naruto's jumpsuits then?
I think that would still be a little further out of the menu, but I'm just saying, like, if we're talking like a DC style one, it would share very similar core aesthetics and identifying means to the Assassin's Creed universe we're familiar with, even if it was built from a different what if spin-off point. So I think they would like if I were constructing it, I would have them have a kind of classical like uniform that is similarly iconic to this in its own way, but it would probably much more heavily rely on civilian disguises than the assassins do during some of their missions and stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna assume you don't.
You know, kind of a spin on this kind of concept.
So be against them having not having an iconic weapon then?
I don't necessarily have a strong opinion on that part, I guess. I think the Hidden Blades are pretty iconic in Assassin's Creed.
You get the lip.
Honestly, just having a knife is equally valid in those situations.
That does reinforce the idea that Commander Shepard's an assassin.
Yes. Also, it's in a different universe, but so are all the Dragon Age characters and their murder knives.
Those are not in a different universe, they're in a different galaxy. We know that because the nugs discovered in Andromeda. The only logical answer is either it's an Easter egg, which makes no sense, no one ever does those ever, or it's the same galaxy.
The deed is done.
As Dragon Age.
Talal is dead.
That is true. I have seen people use that premise before.
In fact, the
just
entire
a
city knows.
classic
Have you
classic planet on
forgotten
the
the meaning of
unfashionable end of the
subtlety?
Milky Way.
A skilled assassin ensures his work is noticed by the many.
I think you just
No,
described
a
her.
skilled assassin
Yeah, that
maintains
is
control
literally
of his
part of the description
environment.
of her, but
We can argue the details
the
all
meme
you'd
can
like,
acquire
Malik,
reference.
but the fact remains I've accomplished the task set to me by Al-Muallim.
Yeah, no, that's just dust. This is just
Go
the
then.
dustiest room in all of
Return to the
Jerusalem.
old man. Let us see with whom he sides.
You and I are on the same side, Malik.
Fast forward in memory to a more recent
No kidding. Alright. Time to...
I wonder if you experience REM sleep if you sleep properly in the Animus.
I don't know.
Because you don't experience it normally well in the Animus. You need to actually lay down and rest afterward.
Yeah.
The short blade
my
is
understanding
best
is it is
for
at least
fending
somewhat
off
restful.
multiple enemies.
Yeah,
like
but
not as much as sleeping, but it is.
it's mentally
partially
exhausting
restful.
still, so you need an actual REM cycle to rest your mind is the thing.
Yep.
I trust you were
But
successful.
physically restful is normal sleep,
The
yeah.
slave trader is dead.
Yes, the birds brought word to me. War is a dirty business. Labor and soldiers seem to be in short supply. Killing that man has saved countless lives. You've no doubt deprived the Crusaders and Saracens of additional troops. These are dark days, when men's lives are valued in gold, and such small amounts at that.
He saw it differently. Claimed they were not slaves at all, that he was helping them.
Do you know how it is you can tell a man is mad?
They speak to air, claw themselves.
No. They are the ones who speak and act as if there is nothing wrong.
I don't understand.
Few are the men who would admit to evil. Always rationalized. Always explained.
So he lied.
I was not there. Did not hear his words myself. But yes, if you speak truly, I think he was simply trying to excuse his deeds.
I saw them, though. The men and women who would be slaves. They were a strange sort. Old, mad, sick.
Weak, yes. What better way to make a soldier than to take a broken man and rebuild him? Give him all he's been denied, with the promise of more.
It seems a lot of work.
It is. But what you get in return is
There's
loyalty.
a literary device called
Knowing what it
foreshadowing.
was they stood to lose, such men would be loath to betray their savior.
An interesting
Nah, people
theory.
don't like foreshadowing.
See? There is still
Because
much
they
I
need
can
to
teach
have
you.
it spelled out for them at the beginning.
Everyone deceives
What about foreshortening?
each other,
that okay?
themselves. Learn
It has to
but
be, it
pierce
has to
the
be
veil,
explained right there.
and know that nothing is true. Go. It is time you continued with your work. Another rank is restored to you, as is a piece of your equipment. We'll speak again when the next has fallen.
Hell yeah.
Throwing knives, there we go.
Throwing knives. Also, we can tackle.
Yeah.
What a weird thing to unlearn. And more hit points. Hell yeah.
Alright. Well, that's probably a good place to stop it.
I'd say so.
Yep. Well,
We have officially completed the third branch of the story missions.
Nice.
And also, we got some foreshadowing.
Spooky.
So
Apparently,
we're,
I've noticed.
Look at that, more hit points, and we have throwing knives and the ability to tackle.
I'm just impressed that they
somehow
were able to
forgot.
take that away from Altair.
Yeah, it was true.
Okay, well, it's probably a good place to call it.
Probably, yeah.
All right, well, that was good.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Okay.
We will see you all
Good
next time.
screen. Yeah. Okay.
Farewell.
Yeah. Farewell.